I had a fun moment this morning and I just wanted to talk about it. So I was walking with my kid, my 9-month old, and we're doing like a little morning walk. It's just what we do. As soon as it's light out, we go out for a little walk. And I had my coffee with me, and we live right next to a running trail. So there's a bark trail out near our house, and all sorts of people are running on it all the time. It's very popular. And I saw a guy run by that was wearing a very just over the top running outfit that included a high vis, neon green vest, and then like little water bottles attached to him. And then on his back, there was like this panel that was lit up. It was like this, large panel, like that big, that was bright. It was just, a safety light on his back. And well, I made fun of him in my mind. I was like, come on, give me a break. Like, are you really worried about a car hitting you here? Like, you're on this separate running trail. It's daylight. It seemed kind of ridiculous to me. And I judged him in that moment as being basically kind of like dorky and overly cautious or whatever. And well, I caught myself in that moment. And at first, when I realized what I was doing, I guilted myself about it. So I kind of, I don't remember exactly what the internal, voice was saying, but it was something along the lines of like, oh man, you got to make fun of everybody. But then I realized, or I remembered another thing that I've been hearing in the, like self-development space. And it's that when you judge someone, where that actually is coming from is a judgment of yourself. And so what that means in this context is I judged this person for appearing imperfect, for appearing either silly or not serious or dorky or whatever. And what that means and what I was able to appreciate in that moment is that those are things that I would judge myself for, that I don't allow myself to be. I protect myself, another way of putting it, I protect myself from being judged like that because I judge myself in that way. So, what that got me in the moment when I was there watching this dorky guy run by with his high vis, vest and the light and the water bottles and just, the whole getup was that I got an insight about myself, which is the real value here. If I'm trying to communicate something right now, it's that there is a value in recognizing your judgment of someone else. And the value is you learn about yourself and how you are judging yourself. Because there's nothing out there that you would find yourself judging somebody for that isn't actually a reflection of how you feel about yourself and about how you don't allow yourself to be. Because I have, I think like a lot of people, I have a pretty serious case of perfectionism and insecurity and things like that. I mean, look at this. I spent time setting up this nice shot. I got my nice shirt on and I'm trying to present an image and I really want that image to be perfect. And that goes for kind of everything in my life where there's an insecurity and I feel the need to present myself in a certain way. So, back to the judgment part. I was judging this person and then I chastised myself for it. And then I realized, oh wait, no, this is actually perfect. This is an opportunity for me to learn something about myself. What am I judging this person for? Am I judging myself for that same thing? Now, this is where it gets cool. So if I had stopped at chastising myself, at shaming myself for being judgmental, that basically guarantees the return of the judgment, where I'll always be judging other people and then shaming myself for being judgmental. It just goes on and on. Shaming doesn't actually work. It doesn't fix the problem. But if instead you can look at it as an opportunity to learn about yourself, then you get to do this cool thing where you can look forward, actually look forward to judging somebody in your head and catching yourself and learning, being like, oh, I wonder why I'm judging them for that. Let's see, do I allow myself to do what I'm judging them for? Like, am I free enough, or do I bully myself out of a particular way of being out of fear of my own self-judgment? And when you approach it like that, when you take this, habit of yours, we'll say, and you, instead of trying to bully it out of yourself, if you instead say, oh, I can't wait for that to happen again. Like, I'm actually legitimately, honestly looking forward to it again, because then I get to find something new about myself. Then, ironically, it happens less. And it's sort of like you're taking the back door, and it's sneaky, and then you find out that it's not there anymore. It's less. So if you find yourself in a judgmental frame of mind, if you catch yourself in the moment, in your head, you make some judgment about somebody, that's your opportunity to hey, cool. This is like a little indicator on your dashboard, a little flashing light saying, hey, what's going on here? And you can use that to enter into a state of wonder instead of a state of, I know what's going on here and it's not good. And instead be like, oh, hey, I wonder why I feel that way. What about this situation makes me uncomfortable and causes my inner voice to, protect my ego by making fun of somebody else? So it was a breakthrough for me, because I'd heard the concept of, loving all of your emotions, looking forward to, say, experiencing fear. And in this case, it could be kind of like the fear of being judged. But I didn't really get it. Like, I hadn't actually experienced an honest interest in it. Like, I wanted to fake it. I wanted to I wanted to want it, but I hadn't actually felt a genuine interest and, anticipation towards feeling something that I had, historically considered to be a negative thing, like being judgmental. But I got it, and it clicked today. And in that moment, I was like, oh, that is so cool. I learned something about myself, and I can't wait for it to happen again. And because then I'll get to learn something new. And like, oh, hey, yeah, I just learned something new about myself because I was able to catch myself in the judgment and, reflect and think, hey, what does that tell me about myself? What am I afraid of? How do I judge myself? How am I critical of myself? And that's a wonderful place to be, instead of in a place of shame, because I think it's more common for people to catch themselves being judgmental and then holding shame about the judgment. So that was my cool insight. And it's nothing new. This is just me experiencing something that, I've been hearing I've been watching a lot of videos of Joe Hudson, who's a coach, and tons of free videos on YouTube. And it's just been a fantastic resource. I also just completed one of his online courses called the Connection Course. It's kind of their introductory course. Anyway, that's so cool. I love it. I get to look forward to something that I used to shame myself about. So, and I'm going to keep applying that to other so-called negative, or commonly thought of as negative emotions or feelings. Because hey, they're not actually negative. It's valuable information, and they're there for good reasons. And the way I see it now is, it's all valuable, and it's all beautiful. And mm, I hope that that lands, and that you can take that, catch yourself in say a time of judgment, and be like, oh, cool. So that's how I feel about myself. Huh. I wonder why I feel that way. I can't wait for it to happen again, so I can, learn again some new aspect of myself. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. It's been a while, and I'm getting back into it. So I'll see you around. All right. Have a great day.